Woj reported today that the league has tested 302 players for COVID-19. These were results that coming from tests that happened on Tuesday, with 16 of those players testing positive. Now, we've seen a number of players like Malcolm Brogdon and Nikola Jokic announce publicly that they've tested positive, and obviously plenty more have chosen not to identify themselves. The league may have prepared for this, okay, and designed their quarantine system and bubble appropriately, but there's still plenty of reasons to be wary as coronavirus cases are rising throughout the country, specifically in Florida, which reported nearly 9,000 positive cases today, which is a new record. Now, meanwhile, guys, earlier this week, Sam Amick of The Athletic took an anonymous poll amongst a number of the league's general managers and wrote an article detailing some of their concerns, including the presence of Disney employees who leave the bubble, the impact this long and unexpected off-season has taken on players, and the lack of family and friends for all throughout the duration. So look, we've discussed a lot of these points ad nauseum, and our thoughts are well documented here on Twitter and YouTube, et cetera. But Perk, when you see these test results and you hear the skepticism coming from GMs, as you're seeing some of the quotes on your screen right now, does it give you any pause?
No, it don't. And listen, I don't want to hear about unanimous sources, right? If they can't put their face behind it or their name behind it, I don't want to hear it. Second of all, the NBA knew that they were going to have a few guys that tested positive for the coronavirus, right? They have a strategic plan in place. 16 out of 302 is not bad. They got more than enough time to quarantine and get back to business. All I'm going to say is this. The key word is bubble, right? And it's not just a bubble. It's $1 billion bubble, right? It might be the safest place in the United States, to be honest. Think about it. The concern that I would have is actually me going to a bubble and leaving my family behind to deal with the coronavirus and all the stuff that's going on in the outside world by themselves, having to go to the grocery store and gas stations and whatever they need to do, outside of the house. That would be my concern. My concern would not be going to $1 billion bubble where I'm protected and going to get pampered, while I got barbers and food and VIP.
I mean, let's not pampered. Yes, there's going to be, but it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy living in there.
Are you serious? They have manis and petties for men in there going on. That is called pampering. Come on now.
That is pretty textbook pampering, Cassidy.
Sure. What are your thoughts?
No, I just say quick. First of all, shout out to anonymous sources, because 99% of the stories that we find out about are from anonymous sources. So don't be killing them,
right?
because they got a job to worry about, right? You can't. If you're a general manager, you can't just come out and be like, "Yo, man, this bubble sounds like a trash idea," and expect like there to be no repercussions, man. I'm trying to keep my money in my pocket. Perk, what you talking about? But Perk, you're right. If the bubble is a bubble, right? If the bubble is a bubble, you're right in the same way that when they were talking about opening practice facilities, we were saying that's a good thing, not because it's okay to go to the practice facility, but I don't want a player saying, well, I can't go to the practice facility. Lifetime Fitness, here I come. 24-hour fitness, here I come. Because I can't guarantee those places. In the same way, if this bubble is a true bubble, then it's true. It's like it's going to be safer in here than it is out there. But there are a couple things. One is, as we said, the people coming and going. Will there be a bringing of infections from the outside to the inside? And then the other thing is what you talked about, the family part. That was in that survey. A lot of people were complaining about, I don't want to be away from my family for 45, 50 days before I see them.
Wait, and some people, look, the players are the only ones who are allowed to bring family after the first.
Yeah.
The team staff and the NBA personnel and media, they're not allowed to bring their family.
But what are we talking about right now, right? So, like, at the end of the day, listen, the players have had about a 3-month vacation with their families. They had time to play Uno, Monopoly, or whatever, right? I know overseas guys that go overseas in a whole nother country to play professional basketball and leave their families for like 6 to 10 months. We're talking about a max 3 months in a whole other state, but in the same country.
Perk, that's all true, but I think what you said it yourself in your first answer. It's not about, oh, I miss my boo. It's about, oh, I got to leave them out there to handle coronavirus and make sure everybody's scrubbing everything down when we bring something from outside and all that. Like, that's the part I think people worry about, is that I don't want to leave my family out there to fend against what's happening.
I understand that. But I feel like at the end of the day, right, coronavirus, and this is just not for basketball, right? This is for America. We gonna have to learn to coexist with the COVID. That's just my opinion. Because it's not going anywhere. You can't stop life. Like, think about it. We gotta, I mean, I don't know. I'm not about to get deep into it, but that's just my opinion. But I'm not about to sit up here and say, oh man, I'm feeling sorry for guys, or I have concerns for guys that's going to $1 billion bubble. I'm sorry.
Well, look, so we're seeing some players already have decided that they don't want to go into that $1 billion bubble because of family. You know, we saw earlier this week Trevor Ariza and Avery Bradley. We also saw Davis Bertans had his own decision that he made due to his free agency coming up. But I want to specifically talk about Avery Bradley, guys. And he cited the health of his son, who has some respiratory issues, and the desire to be with his family as his primary reason for opting out of the bubble. But he also mentioned that he will use the time away to focus on projects to strengthen his communities. And Perk, you gave Avery Bradley some praise on this show last week for his leadership with the coalition. What do you make of his announcement, and specifically, you know, the reason he cited for not wanting to join the bubble?
Well, you know what? It makes me proud because I had Avery Bradley his first 2 years when he was with the Boston Celtics, and he was one of the best rookies I ever had. Humble guy, just a great guy all the way around the board. And Avery and I have something in common. You know, he reached out to me when he lost his mom while he was in Boston, and he knew my backstory, and we had a conversation, and I basically raised Avery. And I'm happy, I'm glad, I'm proud to say that I'm happy about who the man he is today, because, you know, he went out, he started a family, and for him to be putting his family first and dealing with one of his children that have this unique illness, right, this respiratory problem or whatever it is, you know, hey, I applaud him for putting his family first, because this is a different situation. And the health of his son matters more than going back to playing the game of basketball. So it makes me proud, very proud of him.